Today we got 4 stories that are going to make your blood absolutely boil. First up, a friend group that suddenly decides one girl's vacation refund is now their money, then puts her on speakerphone for a group laugh. Then a brand new dad, running on 0 sleep, asks for 10 measly minutes before cooking breakfast and somehow becomes the villain. After that, a mom who cannot stop fixing her daughter's house, even after admitting she's done the exact same thing to everyone in her life. And finally, a woman gets ambushed outside her own home by the parent she went no contact with and reaches straight for the pepper spray. Buckle up because these get wild. Our first poster is a 20-year-old woman who had to bail on a group trip for reasons totally out of her control and then watched her so-called best friends try to pocket the refund she was owed. 20 female, and 9 other friends had planned on going on holiday together, and we booked an Airbnb, each of us paying an equal part and sending it to my close friend, 22 male, who was in charge of arranging the holiday. I'm not a citizen of the country I live in, and I had some problems with my immigration status right before our holiday, which interfered with my ability to leave the country. I made my friend aware of this and apologized, but assured him that I would still pay for the stuff we had already booked. I also said I knew some of our friends couldn't come on the holiday since they couldn't afford it, so they were welcome to come in my place, and they didn't have to pay me back. They just pay for a name change on my plane ticket. A few days later, he messaged me to say the Airbnb that we had booked had canceled on us, and our money was being refunded. I asked him if it would be all right if he could send me my chunk of the money back, and the group could rebook another Airbnb that would accommodate a smaller group. He said yes. He texted me again a while later, saying there were only expensive Airbnbs left, and they needed my chunk of the money to help everyone afford the more expensive place. Sorry, we need the money, so I can't give it back. He also said that I had bailed on everyone and left everyone in a tight spot, so I was expected to do this, and I was already okay with my money burning, so me paying would be the lesser evil compared to making everyone else pay even more. I was very confused with the very sudden switch in tone. I told him me bailing wasn't a problem for anyone until he decided it was. That what he was trying to do felt opportunistic because he wouldn't have asked me to resend him my money to pay for them, had the money been refunded to my account and not his. I told him I was in fact okay with my money burning in the context of someone else going in my place. I've been on the receiving end of not having to pay someone back for a holiday before, and I would like to return the favor when I can. And just keeping my promise with the stuff we had already booked previously. But he had taken the offer I had made in a very specific context and manipulated that to serve his own whims. And I said this disturbed me, and I was mostly looking for an apology. I later looked up housing around the area for myself, and found many options that fit all of our criteria. They were perfectly capable of booking a more reasonable place they could afford. I felt that he was trying to construct a narrative around scarcity to make me feel bad and use me to help the group afford a more luxurious place. The Airbnb he was now trying to get was way over our initial budget. I said I wasn't the reason for them being out of a house. That was the Airbnb's fault, and they were making it mine. I felt disrespected because he never even asked me if I could help them pay as a favor to a friend or just a genuine ask for help because, of course, I would have. But he resorted to treating me like a kid he was lecturing. I said the money wasn't the problem, but the entitlement was. People in our group said I was being super unreasonable and that I was making everyone pay a larger chunk for the holiday house, and the only decent thing would be to give them my refund for the inconvenience I caused by bailing. 22 male later called me on the phone, and it ended up devolving into what essentially felt like a humiliation ritual. He had apparently invited people over prior to calling me. And the entire time, as I was talking about how I felt wronged, some friends in the background were giggling, making weird comments, and doing little reactions after my every sentence. I'd say, I feel taken advantage of, and they'd laugh audibly in the background and go, I can't believe she actually said that. The audacity, we shouldn't have to pay for her absence. Which really pushed me on edge, and I ended up telling everyone involved to get their SH*T together and to stop acting like children, and hung up on their face. Honestly, the phone call came as a shock, because I've been friends with them for 6+ years, and I hadn't realized they were capable of what essentially felt like straight-up bullying. He later texted me and said he found some other option and offered to pay me back to make amends, but I told him I was done and to keep the money and blocked him. Am I the asshole? Edit. For the people confused about why, I just let them have the money. For me, it really wasn't about the money in the first place. It's how I felt I was disrespected. I also told them this numerous times. Money comes and goes. I'd rather them have the damn money if they need it that badly than leave any space for them to paint me as frugal. The money being given back to me was being framed as him making amends to me and making things right, but nothing about any of this was right, so I didn't want to make him feel validated in having made his amends. There were also stuff said along the lines of, some people won't be able to afford the holiday without it, and not everyone involved were a-holes, just spineless. And as much as I don't want them to be my friends, I also don't want to even slightly be responsible for ruining their holiday, whether it's warranted or not. Most of my family and really close friends have also said I should have just taken my money. It's definitely my ego or pride speaking, but I'd rather have my peace of mind than anything else. This was a quick out. I had no energy left to try and further arrange or chase my refund. I just wanted to cut ties immediately. My job isn't to teach them a lesson. I'm sure someone along the way will do that for them. Also, seeing there be such a consistent consensus on who's in the wrong has healed me a little bit. I think I've been around the wrong people for too long, and I've lost grasp on reality, because I did not expect this one bit. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, "The money isn't even what would have ended the friendship for me. It would have been the phone call. Inviting everyone over to laugh at you while trying to pressure you into paying is incredibly immature." Another commenter said, "Yay, that phone call with everyone laughing in the background sounds so hurtful and immature. No wonder you were done after that." Yeah, the comments are firmly in her corner on this one. They say the money was bad enough, but that humiliating speakerphone call is what really crossed the line. Sounds pretty open and shut, but what do you think? So what do you guys think? Was this person the asshole? Drop your verdict in the comments below. Next up, a work-from-home dad juggling a 4-year-old and a 1-week-old newborn asks his wife for 10 minutes of cuddle time before making her an omelet, and it absolutely detonates. First, some background. We had a baby 1 week ago today. We made some agreements before the birth which were basically all her idea, and I went along with them to keep the peace. She's taking her maternity leave now, and when it runs out, I will take my leave next. This will give us more time at home with the baby. During this period, I am taking care of our 4-year-old 100% of the time. I'm making his meals, doing bath time, bringing him to summer camp, etc. I don't mind this, as I was the primary care for him before too, because my job allows more time at home too. On top of that, I'm taking care of all household chores like laundry, dishes, cooking, etc. Whenever a baby diaper needs changed, I'm on it too. I'm pitching in as much as I can with the baby as well. Honestly, I feel like I'm doing a lot, and none of it bothers me. I'm not complaining. I'm in dad mode. I spent Father's Day giving her a break to sleep and taking the kids out for groceries and errands. I work from home, and here lies the biggest issue. I feel as if my wife has never really respected my work time as actual work time, and I am constantly asked to do things for her or around the house. I try to accommodate as much as I can too, because I do have some freedom with my day. I'm not in meetings all day. When she was working, and I was too, I was always expected to drop whatever I was doing for everything, like picking up our sick kid from school or staying home with him all day because he has the day off. In her eyes, I'm already home, so I am the one that has to do it. Naturally, 4-year-olds are a lot of work and need a lot of attention, so my work always suffers these days, but again, dad mode, and I push through. One of our frequent arguments we have is about her micromanaging me. I'm exhausted by it. I can't remember the last time I did something right without being told to do it another way or do something else. I hold the baby wrong. I picked the wrong shoes for my kid to wear to school. I should be driving in the other lane. I can't even park the car in the garage correctly in her eyes. God forbid, I don't immediately jump up in excitement to do whatever task she is currently demanding I do. This brings us to this morning. When getting my kid ready for his day, I made oatmeal for everyone. He ate, and I gave a bowl to my wife, and I brought him to camp. After I got home, I got straight to work. I was already running behind. I ended up working on my laptop in my car for a while in front of our house, because I had to jump on a call and couldn't make them wait another 5 minutes to set up in the house. When that wrapped up, about 2 hours have passed since she had her oatmeal. I went upstairs to see how she and the baby are doing and laid next to them to chill and touch the baby. I'm not on break or lunch or anything. I just had about 20 minutes between stuff and wanted to hang out for a bit with them. Babies are cute. She asked if I could make her an omelet because she wants protein. I said, sure, can I just chill for 10 minutes with you guys? She nodded, and I was just kind of touching the baby and seeing her, and within 2 minutes, she asked in an angry voice, can you make it now? So I got up, a bit frustrated, and made the omelet. This turned into a big fight. I decided to try to give her some grace. I know she's going through a lot. She just had a baby. I calmed down, didn't say anything, and made a bomb omelet with spinach and ham and cheese. When I brought it to her, she got mad and said she doesn't want it anymore and told me to throw it out. I brought it back downstairs, didn't say a word, and did the dishes, saved the omelet, and went back to work. I saw this as a battle not worth fighting right now. An hour later, she came down, and I offered her the food again, since I saved it for her. She told me I was being an asshole. She made her own food and told me I never have to make her food again because I obviously didn't want to. I tried to talk about what happened, and it just turned into a discussion about how I'm always the victim, and I'm just sensitive. I don't know. I'm tired, y'all. Am I the asshole? Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, naps for the whole house, and if that doesn't fix it, counseling. Another commenter said, and maybe get your wife to talk to the doc and PPD. The comments are pretty split on this one. A lot of people point straight to postpartum hormones and say everybody just needs sleep and maybe some counseling, while others are convinced this dynamic was broken long before the baby ever showed up. So what's your verdict? What would you have done in this situation? Let me know in the comments. Then we got someone whose mother turned a simple weekend yard sale into a full hostile takeover of their brand new house, with stain and all. Last post, I talked about how I felt my mom was disregarding how I want to set up my house and trying to essentially take over. We got into a long-winded fight before she left my place this most recent time, which ended with both of us upset and no resolution. For clarity, my family was having a yard sale in my place this weekend because we all had stuff to sell and felt it would be easier to sell everything together. While my mom was here, she took it upon herself to do some of the chores I had not gotten yet because it was a Thursday and I usually do all of my chores on Sundays. She found a bucket of wood stain in my garage and decided that she wanted to stain my shed floor. I told her she absolutely was not doing that, and to please just focus on the garage sale. She insisted she needed something to do, and that staining the floor would be worth her time. So we fought about it, and eventually I went to rant to my dad, who was helping me knock down a wall. He suggested I give her something else to do that I wouldn't mind her doing to occupy her. So I told her she could mow the lawn if she was really that antsy, and she did, and kept pushing to do more. This was before we got into an argument. After we argued and she left, she sent me a huge long text later saying that she felt she failed me in parenting because I'm not maintaining my house with the standards she feels she instilled in me growing up, and that I should try harder to understand her and to think logically. She said that she tolerated it when I was living in apartments that weren't mine, but was disappointed I wasn't doing better in my new house that I just moved to. She said that if I just thought about it long enough that I would realize that she was right and we could move on. Well, that didn't happen, lol. My living spaces have generally always been kept clean, but not always perfect. Sometimes my grass gets a bit long. I don't like the practice of mowing down grass because I feel it's bad for the bugs, but I do mow regularly. I responded and said that the bottom line is that if she doesn't respect my space and stop trying to manage my house for me, then I will stop allowing her over. She called me later, after she had vented about me to one of her friends, to tell me about a revelation she had. She has gotten into fights with almost every person she cares about in her life for almost the same thing we have been fighting about. She tries to fix people's lives and then demeans their living spaces in the process. You would think that after coming to this conclusion, she would think she needs to change something, right? Wrong. She told me that her friends accept the way that she is, and that I need to call her friend so that she can explain to me how my mother is and so that I can understand her better. And she suggested that if I want to avoid fights in the future and prevent her from doing stuff at my place, that I should prep for her visits and make sure everything is done. I told her that that is some seriously flawed logic and that she should get therapy. She hung up on me. Yeah, she isn't coming to my house for a fat while. Edit. I don't want to throw my dad under the bus. He has tried, and he has spoken to her on my behalf, which has helped a bit. She is a very strong-willed woman, lol. Edit 2/update. I've given my dad a heads up. Apparently, he has also fought with her and told her she needs to leave me alone. To quote, leave her the freak alone. Period. I really appreciated that. He said that she has done the same type of stuff with him, and it's old. So that's good to know. He asked that whatever I decide to do that I please, just not cut her off, and I promised I wouldn't. Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, good for you for standing your ground. Keep it up. Also, enjoy the peace and quiet. Another commenter said, the fact that she identified the exact pattern causing problems with everyone in her life and still concluded that everyone else needs to adapt is incredible. The comments are absolutely cheering this one on. They're floored that someone could pinpoint the exact pattern wrecking every relationship in her life and still land on everyone else being the problem. But hey, tell me if you see it differently. If you're enjoying these stories so far, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more. And finally, a woman who went completely no contact with her abusive parents gets cornered in her own apartment lobby by her mother, and what she had stashed in her jacket pocket changes everything. I never had a good relationship with my parents. At their worst, they were abusive and didn't respect me as my own person. At their best, they were just there living in the same house as me. I never felt any sense of family or love. After I graduated university last year, I had no use for them, so I severed all contact. I also moved to a different city for work. Last week I got home after work, and my mother was in the lobby of my building. I can't even express how much this was the creepiest moment of my life. I literally did not believe what I was seeing. I never told my parents my new address, so I have no idea how she found out where I lived. She had clearly been waiting to ambush me because she immediately called out my name and ran up to me. I don't think I even properly heard what she said, but she was going on about how she couldn't get a hold of me and wasn't returning any of her calls, how she wanted to know what was going on. I ignored her and kept walking to the elevator, but she grabbed my arm to stop me. I carry pepper spray in my jacket pocket, and I pulled out the pepper spray and sprayed her. I don't remember what she did next. I just ran to the stairs and ran up the stairs. It was so surreal that I don't understand how I feel about what happened or how I'm supposed to feel. Sometimes I can't remember if it was real or a dream, and randomly throughout the day, I get reminded of what happened. Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, "As someone who has no contact with my mother for 45 years until she died, a mother who every so often would try to force or bribe her way back in, rolling on the floor laughing, 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 I think I love you." Another commenter said, "You were more than justified in defending yourself against her when you made your no contact crystal clear. It's obvious that she did more than violated your privacy. She used underhanded, shady tactics to stalk you. Abusers doesn't get rewarded when she stalked you." The comments are overwhelmingly on her side here. They say when someone tracks you down and grabs you, you have every right to defend yourself, mother or not. Definitely sounds justified to them, but what's your take? So what do you guys think? Was this person the asshole? Drop your verdict in the comments below. And that's a wrap on today's batch of chaos. Drop your verdicts down in the comments, because I read every single one, and I genuinely want to know which of these made you the angriest. Did any of these posters actually have it coming? I got a whole pile of even crazier stories lined up for next time. So I will catch you in the next one.